All right, so my name's Tony MacDonnell. I'm from Nova Scotia, Canada, born and raised, one of 8 children. I also have a sister who's consecrated in the Regnum Christi movement. I am a consecrated layman. We were just recently given the permission to have a community in the Arlington Diocese in Virginia as of March of 2023. So we're excited about that. All 3 of us work at Divine Mercy University. I work in campus ministry. The other 2 guys work in Antonio and Fernando. They work in finance, they work in administration, human resources. And so we're building this community, which is great. Antonio has worked for the organization for a number of years. I'm fairly new to it. I also teach theology of the body at a local Catholic high school in Virginia. And how did I get to be here? And the question I get asked a lot is, so Tony, why aren't you a priest? And I say, well, let me tell you, here's what I would say. I would say to the person, if they're a married person or they have a vocation of whatever sort in their life, is like, why did you choose the vocation you chose? And so to me, it really goes back to the interior life of the person. There's externals that prompted me, that's for sure, because I'm very attracted to the life of evangelization and apostolic outreach and sharing the good news with others. So my search for my my awakening to my faith happens in 1990. I'm working for an evangelical Protestant man, fresh out of university, and I'm working with him, and he's kind of poking and prodding me because I'm just kind of like a Sunday Catholic at this point, going through the motions, not really thinking too much about it. And he makes me think about, like, what does it really mean to be a Christian? And that was over the course of a year and a half that he prompted these things out of me. And so it made me really look more interiorly at my own life. And I started to search for people in my diocese. I was in Halifax, Nova Scotia at the time, looking for priests, lay people who would want to share the faith and talk about it. And it was a very difficult thing for me to do. But I met the Legion, I met some legionaries, and I met some Regnum Christi consecrated women, and immediately attracted to it, to their charism, to their wanting to evangelize. And so that really, it was a match. It was a match. And so a year and a half into that relationship, I became a co-worker, a Mission Corps volunteer for 2 years. And it was in that time that I discerned my vocation to be a consecrated man. And so, again, I met some consecrated men, and it was an attraction there to what they were doing and how they were doing it. But the most important thing really was my own interior life and my regular spiritual direction with a spiritual director who I would see every 2-3 weeks. And so that consistently had a daily reflection, looking at my interior life and saying, like, this is where I fit. And so for a young person, or a young man who's thinking about this vocation, it's really be honest with your prayer life, be honest with your spiritual director to say, this is what I'm thinking. If they're inviting you to the priesthood and you say, well, it feels kind of good, but I'm not sure. I think there might be something else. You just got to share that, and then be honest with yourself and God as you sit in your prayer. And you got to have a regular prayer life. God speaks slowly over time. It's a marathon, not a sprint in terms of. It's a marathon, and not a sprint in terms of your spiritual life. And so, if God wants you to be consecrated, He wants you to be married, He wants you to be a priest, like He will just unfold that for you. But you have to be honest with yourself and others and evaluate the signs.